Yo, peace, it's your boy Shoddy. I'm checking in with the homies at the GAHHD, the Great American Hip Hop Debate. Moskvich 3 is coming soon.
Welcome, world. Yeah. You're now listening to Shottie. Tab 95.
Check it out. 2020 vision. Remy in the system. Eminem edition. Yakking mom spaghetti in the kitchen. The last time me and Tab was in the kitchen, it was black roses. Now we back to study the soil that the plant grows in. The can is open, the plan is unfolding. The whole planet is planet home, panic and frozen. Global pandemic, and Bill Gates planned everything. You can ask Reddit. Shit, forget it. You asked better that stimmy check. And now you got bad credit plus interest. Congrats, you've been finessed. And now your ass broke without a penny left and begging for another handout. What will they think of next? Shit.
Fuck with this New Jersey. Fuck with this New York.
Target, then I started choking. What an awkward moment. People noticed my cough. They thought I caught the
Welcome, world. This is episode 95 of the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. We were just listening to 2020 Vision by the brothers Shottie and Tab 95 off the Moskvich 1/3 EP. I am the brother Burnz. To the left of me, as always, I got the brother BS.
Yes, to the OP, you know what it be. Repping LBE, sporting the MDMA all day. Episode 95, here we go.
On the check-in, we got International Blood.
What it is, my niggas, reporting live from the South. We in Alligator Alley today, baby. Let's go.
And our the mouth of the South, baby. And today's guest repping Miami, transplant from DR to motherland. We got the brother Shottie.
Que lo que, loco, que lo que.
Brother. Glad to have you on the show. Now, the brother Shottie, he is currently working on Moskvich 3, the full-length album. He already gave the world Moskvich 1 and 2. He also gave the world Godspeed, the soundtrack. His partner, Tab 9, could not be here today. But shout out to him. Make sure you're following him. That's at 95lens. He's a producer extraordinaire, and he's also a publisher. So now the brother Shottie also has a long list of accomplishments. Along with being an MC and a producer, he's also a writer and a director. He's got a couple short films out there. He also has his own podcast. It's called the Human Sushi Podcast. We're gonna work on a crossover episode with the GAHHD.
Sure.
And the brother Shottie, you authored a graphic novel called Popova?
Popova, that's right. Yeah.
Popova. I don't think we've ever had a graphic novelist on the show, so that's something new. So we're gonna get into that in a second. We're gonna get into the new project. We're gonna get into Miami hip hop. We're gonna get into your influences and all that good stuff. Welcome to the show, brother. Thank you for being here. And before we get into that, make sure you're following the homie Shottie on Instagram. Yeah. Make sure you're following the brother Shottie on Instagram at Shottie DDEE84. That's at SHOTTIDEE 84. While you're there, make sure you're following the Godcast at GAHHD_podcast. Make sure you're following the brother Bludshot at deadass_worldwide. Make sure you're following brother Ephraim at EphraimR711. Shout out to Straight Fuego Studios. If you need studio time or somewhere to shoot a video or to get a video edited, holla at the brother F. Make sure if you are on Twitter that you're following at @thereal_VSOP. That is a Twitter exclusive. You won't find them anywhere else. And make sure you're following me at callme_Joseph_ because I'm just cool like that. So. Now,
This guy.
Before we get into the brother Shottie, let's get into some quick hip hop news. Earlier this week, Jim Jones called out Jadakiss because he wants a one-on-one versus rematch. That sounds pretty dope. I want to know what the brother Shottie thinks about that.
I think, he's calling out the versus MVP right now, bro. You know what I mean? So I fuck with Jim Jones, and, I was there for the whole, Dipset movement. So I like Dipset, I like Jim Jones and shit, but man, that's a high mountain to climb, bro. Jada showed out, I think, more than anybody else that's been on the verses,
Quick question, Shottie. When did you expect what happened in the Dipset Locks versus to happen, or were you expecting, like we were, like me and the brother Burnz here, we were expecting Dipset to like basically wash him?
I was on that same tip because I have family in New York, so I'm always like back and forth and shit. And I remember being in New York during the height of the Dipset movement, and it's like them dudes were everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm more of a Locks fan, but I just thought, like I thought Dipset had more of a following and shit. So I thought that would translate to the verses, but man, I was wrong.
Yeah, we all.
I don't think I recall anybody predicting like the wash that it was. Like people were on the Lock side, people were on Dipset side, but nobody was like, yo, they're just gonna fucking murder them. And that's what it came to be. But Shoddy, you mentioned Dipset when they were at their peak, and that was like a really good time for New York. Dipset was in everything, man. Big influences on the streets, on fashion, on music, on production, in the streets, on some street shit that we won't get into. At that same time, I believe G Unit was either coming up or coming down, and then the Locks was always steady. So there was that strong New York presence at that time.
I think G Unit was there, and then they steadily declined after that.
I think
Blood, what do you think?
I think what happened in the battle was that nobody expected the Locks to do the freestyle routine that they did. So they were very rehearsed and cohesive, as opposed to Dipset, who were all over the place. And that transitioned into the win for the Locks. But I think that is the hottest shit that can happen now, is the Jones versus Jada battle, because again, just like the brother Shottie said, Jadakiss that's a tall order right there. Like, he's the MVP of the versus battles. Although I would say that Jones, to me, in my opinion, in hip hop, he's the most improved artist of the last 5 years, and to the point where I mostly just listen to his albums. Whether it's the El Capo Deluxe or the new Fraud album, the Fraud Department album he put out, or the shit with DJ Drama. He's all over the place. So it can go either way, I think, in this case.
All right, I have a couple follow-up questions, but Blood, real quick, did you like the DJ Drama project?
I liked it. Again, it that one specifically is for like the young heads, you know what I'm saying? So the music is a little bit different in terms of my taste, but I think that Jones holds his own with the young cast.
All right. I heard it. It is not for us. It's very drill heavy. It features a lot of younger, unknown cats. Jones is Jones, so he's always gonna do his thing. He's good with writing beats, and his lyrics are, not Cannabis level, but he holds his own. So it was a decent project, but I thought it was a little bit of a letdown coming off Capo and Capo Deluxe, which I thought were easily his best works and probably the best albums that came out those years that they came out.
Yeah.
All right, Shottie, quick follow-up question. Actually, two follow-up questions. One, do you think people might be tired of seeing Jadakiss in the versus arena? And number two, do you think Jones, because of that fucking whooping that they took, went home, studied verses and stage control and song selection, and that he'll be able to come back and get his revenge?
Yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but I think what happened with the verses and with Jada in particular, I think they ran into an MC that's cut from the same cloth as KRS and like these other great performers. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe Jim Jones and Jada could go track for track in another context, and Jim Jones might win, right? But you put them in a live setting like that and put a microphone in their hand, I don't know if you're gonna need to pull out a KRS-One or something like that to fuck with Jadakiss. You know what I mean? I don't know if Jim Jones has that in his bag. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a matter of like the context, like that context of putting him on a stage with the microphone and having them just rock, like Jada is a MC. You know what I'm saying? And I think there is a separation there. Like Jim Jones is a guy, you know, at least from my perspective, that wasn't necessarily a MC, and he like you said, he's you know, one of the most improved. Like he kind of developed into that. Where I think Jada, bro, I think he's just cut from that cloth, bro. You know what I mean? So in that context, I just can't see Jim Jones beating him. You know?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Also, like on an energy level.
Yeah.
Jim Jones, you know, he's cool, bro. So it's not like he's gonna get on the stage and be.
He's not gonna be Freaky Zeke.
Right. So you would go with Jada.
1,000.
How about you, Blood?
I would go with Jada.
You would go with Jada.
Yeah, in terms of winning that battle.
Again, like I said, unless Jim Jones went and, like you said, studied and shit, you got to go with the proven track record, bro. When Jada's been slaying people in verses, he damn near took out 3 dudes by himself. You know what I'm saying?
Totally, I agree with that, but I'm gonna go with Jones just because we got to go for the underdog.
No, for sure.
And hopefully he went back and he's been hitting the gym and getting his stamina up and studied shit and knows, you know, I got to play the high energy joints and I got to fucking touch the crowd and I don't know. I'm just I kind of always root for Dipset.
Yeah.
Yo, give me Cameron versus Jada, and we're having a different conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yes, but Cameron, not the Cameron that showed up to the verses.
No. The Cameron as we all know and love him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the asshole Cameron that refuses to be like number 2. I need that guy because the one that showed up to the verses, he was on some bullshit. He was on some fake ass like.
He was on some I didn't want to be there shit.
Yeah.
No, my bad. I didn't want to be there with these 2 suckers. That's what I think it was. I think he would have been there alone, but the fact that Jones and especially Jewels with his fucking goofy ass was there, he was like, man, all right, I'll go out there, but I'm not really into this.
He wasn't Killer, basically.
Right. That's an excellent point. And that's what we need. I would love to see Killer on a versus.
Word.
Regardless of who it's against. I would actually love to see Killer versus Jones. And like, you know, if y'all got this tension and y'all brothers, at the end of the day, y'all brothers. So y'all gonna have tension here and there.
Of course.
That's natural life progression.
Yeah.
But if y'all got this tension and y'all both, you know, dope artists and y'all both got catalogs and y'all both Harlem and y'all both Dipset. Dipset wins.
True.
You know?
True. Either way, Dipset wins.
Either way, Dipset wins.
True, that's a good way to look at
that's
it.
what I would think.
He said it on some new
that's what I would hope for.
Fun Flex freestyle that he was just on. He even gives a shout out to the Locks. And he said it that he ate off that shit no matter what, even if they took the L.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers show that after a versus, the streams go up for the artist, either winner and loser. So everybody gets a little
extra push.
Yeah, a little something out of it. And Blood, since you heard it, what'd you think of that Cameron Funk Flex freestyle?
I thought he ripped it. I thought he went insane. I didn't like the second freestyle because it just was a little slower. You know what I'm saying? I like when he gets up on amped up beats, but that first freestyle, he like the beat ended and he was still rhyming and shit, so he went off.
All right.
I
like Cam. I think Cam is very underrated and underappreciated. So I like when he comes out and just rips some shit.
Yeah, I like disrespectful ass Cam.
Yeah, when he spit in the little girl's face, that's my guy.
Yo, you crazy.
All right, moving on to more versus rumor. Dr. Dre recently tweeted Eminem versus who? ? To which Swizz Beatz replied, Busta Rhymes. So now there is talk of this battle possibly happening. Busta versus Eminem. Let's let the guests go first. Brother Shottie, what do you think of this battle? Before you tell me who you think would win, what do you think of these two together?
bro, I like them both as artists. I love them both as artists, but I don't understand the matchup. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Agreed.
see them in the same lane. Like Eminem, bro, to be completely honest, it's Jay-Z or bust. You got to give him Jay-Z or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and same with Jay-Z. Like, if it ain't Eminem or Nas, like, I don't want to. It's like, who else are you gonna put, bro? You know what I mean?
Right.
And even with Nas, I think like from a obviously from a sales record standpoint and shit, like really it's Jay-Z and Eminem. Like Nas can't even step in there with him. You know what I'm saying? But obviously they have their history, so that would be a dope versus to watch. But nah, I don't know. I don't understand Busta and Eminem. I don't get that. Because like Eminem,
I don't either.
Yo, Busta will kill every feature that he's in, including if he does a song with Eminem. Like I think Busta might take that. You know what I'm saying? But Eminem has classic albums, bro. Like the first Eminem, the first 3 albums, you can make a case that they're classic, whether you like them or not. You know what I'm saying? But you can make a case that they're all classic albums. Like I can't think of a classic Busta album. Now Busta will get on anybody's track and destroy them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, bro. I go back and I play some Busta Rhymes songs, but like I can't think of an album besides maybe the first one. You know what I mean? That I could bump like that I personally bump all the way through. Yeah. So I don't really get that one. I don't understand it.
You know, I totally agree. I don't understand the matchup. I don't think I agree. Busta to me doesn't have any classic albums. I'll go a step further. I don't think I've ever listened to a whole complete Busta Rhymes album. I think all of them I've had to stop. Even the last one that got rave reviews, that was it's cool. It's just after a while, Busta, whatever. But on the versus stage, Blood, what do you think? Busta versus M.
I agree with the brother Shottie. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm trying to see why. Like maybe because they both have like these outlandish characters, and those type of songs that are like bigger than life and hip hop. But I think Eminem and you know what's funny? This actual debate was put on. Shout out to the brother on Instagram, Bars Lounge Preem. I think he's out of BK. Bars Lounge Preem. He does like a music page, but I put on his page, I'm like, I think Eminem understands that he can't go heads up with Busta. You can't put anybody against Busta because Busta is his own hype man. So any song that you put on in terms of being hype, he's gonna destroy whatever it's up against, you know? And I'm gonna disagree with y'all on whether or not he has a classic album. Y'all gotta go back and listen to When Disaster Strikes. That album right there is fucking bananas. Not only is it classic, he got banger after banger on that fucking album. I agree. And I think even Extinction Level Event was you know, his first album was but that one is fire. And then, you know, he got his shit with Flip Mode. Like Busta's career is you throw on Scenario and come on, man, he's gonna murk whoever, you know, whatever track it goes up against, bro. So this man, he's probably the longest running artist in hip hop right now, besides maybe like a Fat Joe.
That's what I was gonna say. When his catalog is longer than Eminem's. You understand? I mean, obviously Eminem has like you said, he's top charts and he's sold millions of records. He's probably sold like 100 million records, all his albums put together.
But on a versus stage, that should
yeah, exactly. On the versus stage, you got to understand that. First of all, Busta's career spans from like 88 until now. That's a long fucking time, yo. That's 30 plus years of music that you're talking about from one man. And everything that he ever got on, he outshined everybody that was on the song. I don't ever remember a time that Busta got on the track and he didn't shine. Or his verse was forgettable. You understand what I'm saying? Even with Big on the Flavor in Your Ear, he came off.
That song made both of them.
Yeah.
That song launched both of their careers.
Exactly. And he came off.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And Busta's music is made for the stage.
Yes.
Where Eminem's is not. Eminem's is you know, you don't even drive around really listening to Eminem because it's not that vibe. Like Eminem, you sit down and you put your headphones on and you want to hear his words and his wordplay and his manipulation and his lyricism. Busta's music is very specifically made for him to stand there with Spliff Star next to him, and they're both sweating bullets, and they're both fucking running around doing crazy shit. And like you said, he'll play Scenario, the crowd will go crazy. He'll play the big song, the crowd will go crazy. He'll play Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See. You could play that shit anywhere at any time, and people fuck around and go crazy. He'll play the shit with ODB, the shit with Meth, Flip Mode songs. Then he got the Chris Brown song that the new kids love.
Oh yeah, from a few
like
years ago.
yo, I don't see how they put them together, and I don't see how Eminem would really compete on that stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
If it's who sold the most records, obviously M wins. If it's got who got the most #1 hits, obviously M wins.
Right.
Or even if you sit down and like you said with the Jones and Jada, if you sit down and compare track versus track, you know, in your headphones, talking about the production and the hook and the pre-hook
product. Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, Em and Buster are a little different there. But on a stage with a crowd, yo, Eminem would get murdered, in my opinion.
And that's
now,
go ahead,
not taking anything away from Eminem, because yo, I'll geek out to Eminem all day on his freestyles and on his tracks.
We can,
you know,
that goes
just
without
like
saying,
the albums. I'll geek out all day, and I'll be on some Eminem shit for 3 days in a dark room and shit, But come on, man. On the versus stage is a different story, bro. I think this might even open the door to like a different avenue besides versus, to put that whole like catalog versus catalog out there. You know?
Let me ask you a question, brother Shoddy. You said for M, it got to be J. But who would you put versus Busta that might be like equally?
Redman.
Oh,
that's a great choice.
That's not even a question for me, bro.
I like that one.
Redman.
That's a good choice. Anybody got any other ideas?
For for
Busta? Yeah, that might be able to go against Busta.
It should have been ODB, you know what I'm saying? But shit didn't work out that way, right? That's what it was supposed to be. You feel what I'm saying?
ODB would have been a great choice. That would have actually probably been the craziest fucking verses ever.
How about maybe Missy?
I like Missy, and I've heard that theory before.
Yeah, because they have this kind of like the same character.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be mad at that.
Because she's also made for live,
and she's got a good catalog.
She's got a great catalog.
Yeah,
she might give him a run, bro. Don't sleep.
She might give him a run.
Up. Yeah,
and her stage show is pretty crazy too, and she can bring people out that are big.
Yeah, she's got hits.
As can Buster, of course.
She's got mad hits too, big time hits that she wrote, performed, everything.
Yeah, definitely. I would ask the same about Eminem, but we already said Jay, and I just don't think Eminem is a versus type artist.
Not what versus is now, because now versus is more so about the live performance. Before it was in the studio and it was just the two artists, was different. And you were basically, it was about the catalog.
Yes.
Now it's about stage presence. It's about, I'm gonna wipe you out on this fucking stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's different now.
Is there anybody who has not been on a versus that you would like to see, Shotty?
I mean, they should go with like some deep cut artists too. I know that won't happen because it won't get the the same kind. But like I want to see like a Razcast on versus. You know what I'm saying? And like Grass or like some crazy shit like that. You know what I mean? Like someone that really don't have like all the commercial hits, but that could come with the raps, bro. I like raps. You know what I'm saying?
You know, somebody like Tech-9 who has 30 albums and it gives us fucking stage show.
Yeah,
too.
He's different.
He's not, he's not as mainstream as others. All right. We were talking about Eminem, and we started the show with a song called 2020 Vision, where the brother Shotty references Eminem. So first question I have regarding that, Shotty, would you consider Eminem one of your influences, and who are some of your other influences?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like Eminem is definitely in the ingredients, because him and Redman and Busta and like that, those kind of artists made it okay for you to kind of go left with the shit as a as a lyricist. You know what I mean? Because like it seems like a lot of people in hip hop kind of like pick one lane, which is like the standard lane. You know what I mean? And they kind of stick with it. But those guys went left, and they, you know, Eminem talks about shit, you know, like growing up and fighting with his moms and shit, and Redman's. You know, like I'm a big fan of There's a Dark Side and shit. Redman's over here talking about doing dust and all kind of fucking crazy shit. You know what I mean? So like it like they give you that license to kind of go left with it if you need to. You know what I mean? It kind of like opens you up creatively and shit. So definitely an influence. Yeah, I love Eminem.
When did you start listening to hip hop?
Bro, the first hip hop song I ever heard was "Parents Just Don't Understand" by Fresh Prince.
Classic. Yeah.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Shout out to Fresh Prince. Like that's the first rapper I ever heard when I moved from to the States from DR. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know what rap was, and when I heard that shit, and bro, no lie, I was like 7, 8 years old at the time, and I remember like very specifically thinking like, yo, I think I could do that. I didn't start doing it till way later, you know what I'm saying? But like at the time, I had that thought. It's like the seed was planted and shit. I was like, damn, I think I could do that, bro. I think I could like rhyme words and tell a story. And to me, it was brilliant what he was doing. Like he was telling a story, and he was talking directly to someone like me, an 8-year-old who, you know, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, parents just don't understand. You're right. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, man, that was it. It was Fresh Prince.
Dope. Shout out to Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff for boycotting the Grammys the year that they won for Best Hip Hop Artist or Best Hip Hop Album, because they weren't going to be televised receiving the award.
That was the first time that it was actually that it became an award.
Right.
That was a category.
And they were not going to televise it, so they boycotted it. Shout out to that. Hip hop is always rebellious like that.
Yeah, fuck the Grammys.
Shottie, when you were born in DR, when did you come to where did you go from DR?
Well, I'm Dominican, so we did the typical Dominican pilgrimage. We went to New York. You know what I'm saying? So,
nice. Where in New York?
Washington Heights, Papa.
DR part 2.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's the only way to go. You know what I mean? But we were there for a couple years. I was very, very young. I was like 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? We were there for a couple years, and then unfortunately my father passed away, so we had to move down to Miami in order to like live, you know, because my grandparents are here. So in order to like, so we can live with our grandparents and kind of like stack up the bread or whatever, we had to move down to Miami. And you know, I've been here ever since, even though I've moved around since as an adult. You know, I've lived in LA, you know, I moved back to New York for a couple years, but Miami's been my home base ever since.
Okay. Rest in peace to Pop Dukes.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
And I can hear the New York in your rap and in some of the vernacular that you use. For example, you had in the song 2020 Vision, you used ass bet. On the stimmies. You said something like you ass betted the stimmy.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a super like Brooklyn word to me. So shout out to that. I hadn't heard it in a while, so shout out to that. And then you also used finesse, which is a word like I remember we used to use finesse a lot, and I don't know if now it's a popular word.
No, now they've refinessed the word.
They finessed us for the word.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is that I got that from his rhymes as well. I got the New York swag, but then before I heard you mention that you know Miami or Kendall. I heard you say on one of the tracks, you said, run this fade. And I'm like, chill. Like, that's a Florida ass slang if I ever heard it. You know what I mean? Because I'm a New York, Jersey transplant down here in Tampa Bay. And you hear that shit all the time, you know, when you're talking about like, you know, one-on-one fist fight. And when you said run this fade, I was like, is he from Florida? Like, I was trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
That was what's funny about that.
Go ahead, Shottie.
My bad. What's funny about that though is like when I was living in New York, people were like, "Oh, I can't figure out where you're from." You know what I'm saying? So it's like I sound like I'm from New York to Miami cats, but you know when I was up in New York, it's like they couldn't figure out where I was from. You know what I mean? So it's
that's good though. That's good, especially for an MC.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
And Blood, real quick, Run This Fade got popular online. So it became it became kind of national now. So
did it
spread?
Oh
yeah, it spread. Run This Fade.
True.
Maybe like a year ago. Now, brother Shoddy, you dropped 3 projects that are available now online on all DSPs. So let's start with Moskvich 1. First and foremost, how'd you hook up with the brother Tev?
Tev's been the homie since back in the day. You know what I mean? Like we started working at a studio of a mutual friend of ours, my boy Salazar. And you know, we kind of just started building and shit like that. And what we had in common was that we were both, you know, in Miami, surrounded by a lot of dudes that wanted to do like Southern music, but me and Tev are both like East Coast boom bappers, you know what I'm saying? As far as like what we like, you know what I mean? So like once we made that connection, and it's funny because like, you know, for those first like couple years that we met, we were working on like down south sounding shit. You know what I mean? Because there was like a little era in Miami where you couldn't really escape that shit, bro. Everybody that I knew that was making music was making that type of music. So I kind of had to conform my shit, you know? And it's like we had already known each other for a couple of years when we both kind of figured out like, yo, you like Wu-Tang and shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like we both kind of figured out that we were into the same shit. So once we started like working on music, it was like no compromises, bro. It's like, bro, we're gonna do some gritty boom bap shit. That's what we do. You know what I mean? So it's been that ever since, bro. I've done like 5 projects with Tuck at this point.
Nice. And does he handle all of the production, or do you also chip in on the production?
I chip in on some of the production, but Moskvich is completely his.
1, 2, and 3?
1, 2, and 3 is completely Tuck. Yeah.
Does he ever get on the mic?
He has. I don't know if it's anywhere for public consumption, but I've definitely heard Tev, you know, they like drop some bars and shit.
That's what's up. Shout out to the brother Tev.
Word.
Now, what led to Moskvich 1 being put together? Like, were you guys just hanging out one day and said, "Fuck it, we're gonna make this project"? What
led to it, honestly, bro, is I kind of left hip hop alone for like a good 5-6 years. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I think maybe a little bored with it, and I wanted to like just like do something else to challenge myself, and that's when I started like, you know, putting more focus on the films and stuff like that. I had gone to film school, so I've always had like an interest in film and shit, but I started focusing on that a little more, and like the comic books and, you know, just other shit that I wanted to do. So, you know, when 2020 came around and with the lockdown, there was a specific event here in Miami. It was like an online thing. It was called Kendall versus Hialeah. Those are 2 hoods here in Miami, right? Mm-hmm. And they were putting up, it was like a versus, like they were doing 20 tracks from like Kendall people versus 20 tracks from Hialeah. And being like a Kendall representative and shit, like, you know, they used some of my tracks on the live stream and shit like that. And there was a whole lead up to it where cats were like dropping battle bars at each other, you know what I mean? Like on IG and shit. So I hadn't rapped in years, bro. And that shit kind of like reinvigorated me. And at the same time, you know, Tev hadn't been producing either. So when he seen that I was getting active with the whole Kendall Hialeah shit, he hit me up and it was like, bro, what are we doing, bro? We doing another one or what?
Let's get back at it.
That's just get back at it, you know what I mean? So we got back in the gym, and Moskvich is kind of what came out of that, you know what I mean?
So on that album, you have 2020 Vision, which I love, but then you also have a song. It's the James Bond song. What's the name of it?
Oh, that's on the Moskvich 2. That's from
that one's on
Love,
2?
featuring the homie Salazar.
Yeah. I really like that song and what y'all did with the wordplay and playing off the character names and the movie names. That was a super dope track. Everybody make sure you go check that out.
There's another artist on that track, right?
Salazar. That's the homie that me and Tev met through Salazar at Salazar Studio. You know what I mean? That's my brother right there.
Yeah, he nasty with it too, man.
Hell yeah. And his Spanish shit is even, bro, man, like his Spanish rap, he's him and Aldo from Los Aldeanos, I don't know if you heard of them, are probably the best 2 Spanish rappers I've ever heard in my life. So definitely go check out Salazar El Tabaquero. He's all over the streaming platforms and all that. Like, my man is nasty.
Yeah, shout out to him for sure.
Shout out to him.
Now, sir, you have a keen sense of wordplay.
Word.
double entendres. There's a specific word for when you use a word to mean like two words.
Similes?
No, it starts with a P. I won't remember it now. But I have a couple of bars that I really enjoyed. I wrote them down actually.
Yeah, word.
Oh.
And my favorite one was, "Man is like when Kobe died, I was mortified. And even though I ain't know the guy, I borderline Jordan cried."
Mm.
Now,
there's a lot going on in those.
Yes. The Jordan cry meme, yo, that shit is classic.
Still classic, yeah.
But the Kobe dying, did that fuck you up?
It did, bro. And you know what's funny, man? I've always kind of like been dismissive of when people get all sad when celebrities die and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I love
way.
Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson too, and all that. You know what I mean? But it didn't hit me the same way as like, yo, when Kobe died, it was like I was in a state of shock for a couple of days. It felt like, you know what I mean? And looking at it in hindsight too, for me, or you know, I think for someone like that grew up in my era and is into the kind of shit that I'm into, Kobe dying kind of like was a precursor to the whole world changing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like little did we know that a couple months later the entire world was going to change. So when you look at it in retrospect, I always connected to, you know what I mean? Because I was like, damn, Kobe dying gave me this weird feeling at the top of the year, and then that year ended up being super fucked up. You know what I mean? So I could curse, right?
Yeah. Kobe, man,
yeah.
that was our Superman, bro. Once he died, the world went to shit.
I also think it's not, I mean, obviously it's the fact that he died, but it's also how he passed away. Like the fact that it was in a fucking helicopter crash. It would have been different if he died suddenly of natural causes or something. But the fact that he died a horrific death. You understand what I'm saying? Like that I think also took everybody aback, you know, took everybody.
But it also that also plays into the shock factor.
That's what I mean.
Because nobody was expecting that.
That's what I mean. Nobody woke up that morning thinking they were gonna get the headlines that Kobe died in a helicopter crash.
What it did for me was make me look at my own mortality a little bit, because again, he was like a larger than life figure, and I came to embrace Kobe towards the end. I mean, not towards the end, but towards the tail end of his career is when I started to embrace Kobe and say, yeah, he's the closest to Jordan, not LeBron. Kobe's the closest to Jordan, and respect everything that he did, and look at his career and say, this dude deserves all the credit in the world. When before I used to always be like, yeah, Kobe, whatever, man. He, you know, he's that young kid, you know, whatever. He ain't Jordan. But then I embraced him, and it just fucked me up the same way it fucked up all of y'all, man. Like it was a crazy day. We reported it live. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah, we had a show that day. Yeah. Well, what was crazy to me is that because we live in the social media age, a lot of times deaths are reported and they're false, they're fake. So, you know, when a death is reported, you kind of gotta like wait it out and see who's saying it, and then see who says it again. And then it comes up on the news like an hour later. So for a little while, you're confused as to whether it's true or not. And, you know, it's kind of like emotionally draining. And then to find out it is true, and the circumstances with his daughter, and they said he was holding her, you know.
It's crazy shit.
It got crazy. But I agree, Blood, in the post-NBA career admiration of Kobe Bryant. I like that he won his Oscar for his mini basketball movie. Word. I like that he set up the Mamba Academy and was coaching. I like that he was like more out there. Like he would be at the games and he would fuck with the players.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that, because I saw a dope video of when Kobe was playing, and he was playing LeBron, and LeBron was in Cleveland, and the caption for the video was, Kobe was just different. And you see LeBron, it's during the game already. Like they already got their pleasantries out the way. And LeBron is, I guess, guarding Kobe, or they're standing by each other. And LeBron is trying to talk to Kobe like on some friend shit. And Kobe completely ignores him because he's focused.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's the Mamba.
mentality.
Yeah, it's the Mamba mentality.
He completely doesn't even acknowledge the fact that he's standing next to him. And I was like, that's fucking Kobe right there.
Yeah, he's different, bro. Like you said.
Yeah, he was different. Totally different.
Now let's get back to Brother Shottie. Godspeed is parentheses soundtrack. Is that actually a soundtrack to a project?
Yeah, Godspeed was a video album that we released in 2013. So it's like we had recorded three projects or two projects previous to Godspeed, which was DeLorean, and we did a little EP called Smells Like Holy Spirit. So we had shot videos for a bunch of the tracks from both of those projects. And we ended up making it into like a video album / documentary called Godspeed. So like the album was just something, those were all the songs that we did the videos to. So it's just like accompanied the documentary, you know what I mean? But it was never meant to be like an album. It's kind of like a compilation of tracks from previous projects.
And do you still have all that content? Do you still have the documentary and all these different videos?
100%. It's on 95 Labs YouTube channel. So that's the label that we release all this shit through, 95 Labs. And if you look up the YouTube channel, yo, there's so much fly shit on there, and not just Shottie shit either. Tev has produced for a bunch of other dope like underground artists from NYC, from Miami, and there's a bunch of fly shit on there. So definitely check that shit out, man.
Absolutely. And that's 95 Lens?
95 Labs. Is the
95 Labs on YouTube. Make sure you check out 95 Labs on YouTube.
Now, Shottie, did Tev produce Godspeed, the entire album?
I think I have one or two beats on there. I lose track of which albums I have beats on. I know I got one on Blackest Rose. I think I might have one on Godspeed, but either way, it's like it's 95% Tev, you know what I'm saying? Like he does most of my shit.
Yeah, I find that there was a little switch up on that album. It seems a little bit more organic, and I really like it. I actually really like it. But it sounds different, than Moskvich.
It does, yeah, it does. I think the whole approach was different for a lot of those songs, And also, it's like when you're listening to Godspeed, you got to keep in mind, like, those are the songs that we shot videos for off other albums. So those were like the quote unquote singles. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's not a lot of like deep cut album tracks on Godspeed because those were kind of more designed to be like singles. You know what I mean?
I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Shottie, you say you took a couple years off from hip hop, and that's when you were focusing on writing and completing your graphic novel. Is that correct?
Yeah, Popova was something that started as a screenplay, like, and that was me and Tev also. By the way, like, Tev is a co-writer on Popova, but originally it was like we did so many of our own videos for like the music shit that we were like, bro, we should just shoot a movie. You know what I'm saying? Let's shoot a fucking movie. So we wrote Popova as a feature-length film, but by the time we were done writing it, we're like, bro, this is gonna cost like $10 million to make, bro. So we gotta pivot to something else. You know what I mean? So we kind of condensed the story a little bit and created a graphic novel. We hired some really dope artists, Yasmin Liang, CR. I'm gonna mispronounce his last name, but we got some really dope artists on it and shit, and put it out in a format that, one, we can afford to do, but two, like, stays true to our original vision. Because a lot of the shit that you could do with a movie, you can also do on a graphic novel. You know what I mean? And that was like the closest way that we could put that content out there without having to fucking raise $10 million to shoot it.
Right. Now, if somebody wanted to go purchase this, your book, where would they find it?
At this point, it's available. We sold out of physical copies. There may or may not be a reprint, at some point. But right now it's available on Comixology, which is kind of like the iTunes for digital comics. It's owned by Amazon. So, if you're into digital comics, sign up for Comixology and you could buy Popova 1 and 2 on there.
Will there be a part 3?
It's written, you know what I mean? So if we don't have to fund it ourselves, 100% there will be a part 3, but I think first we gotta find somebody that's willing to publish it, because you know, our thing is we got a lot of shit that we can do, right? Like we shoot videos, we write screenplays, we make comic books, we make music, but like what we do best is this rap shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like what I do best is spit bars, bro, and what Tev does best is make dope beats. So, you know, like you only got so many minutes in the day, bro, and you gotta be real precise about how you choose to spend that time. You know what I'm saying? So like right now, it's like we kind of put everything else to the back burner, and we're focusing on what we could do best, which is this rap shit, it's hardcore, gritty rap shit. You know what I mean?
Right. And now, getting back to rap, you guys have Moskvich 3 dropping soon, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This one is a full-length album.
That's right.
When can we expect it to hit the DSPs or the streets?
It's gonna hit. It'll hit the streets in a couple weeks, and the DSPs a couple weeks after that. So maybe in a month it should be out there completely. You know what I mean? Right now we're just finalizing like all the little bells and whistles for the, you know, to really release it the right way and shit. But soon, man, we just had our listening party a couple nights ago. It was super dope vibes. You know what I mean? A lot of like Miami heavy hitters showed up. It was super love, man. And the reaction to the music was phenomenal, bro. So we're like very excited for this release. You know what I mean?
Oh, dope.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
man.
And congratulations on the graphic novels too, putting that out. That's awesome stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Man, for sure.
On Moskvich 3, we just found out a little while ago that you have a feature from friend of the show, Crime Apple. How'd that come about?
Yo, I mean, you know, me and Tev we're fans of this hip hop shit, man. And Crime Apple's one of those dudes. Like Wet Dirt, the Wet Dirt album is like that's on steady rotation for me. You know what I mean? So like, you know, when we were thinking about Moskvich 3, we're like, okay, we got to take this album up a notch from the other two. I think, you know what I mean? We can't just come back and do the same thing. So it's like, bro, let's reach out and get some of the dudes that we really fuck with on this shit. So yo, we reached out, man, and you know, homie was responsive. You know what I mean? And so yo, bro, it's a beautiful thing. The track came out fucking crazy. It's called Que Lo Que, and that was actually one of the ones that got the best response at the listening party the other day. So man, I can't wait for people to hear that shit.
Absolutely.
And
come to find out,
my bad to cut you off, but he's a Latin homie too. You know what I'm saying? So that was like
Colombian.
Yeah, man. Like so I already had the verse and the hook, the shit laid down, and it was like, bro, it couldn't be a better fit. I can't even think of somebody else that would be a better fit for that song. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Shout out to the brother Crime Apple, and shout out to the brother F, who actually recorded that feature here at Straight Fuego Studios, which we came to find out just a little while ago. So
that's crazy, by the way.
Small world, yeah. Small world.
6 degrees, bro. 6 degrees.
That's crazy.
Now, sir, are you still doing your podcast?
Yeah, man. We just recorded an episode a couple days ago, actually. So it's like, you know, we used to do the podcast once a week, bro. And it was like, but again, that's back when I wasn't doing this rap shit. Right. So, you know, and also my podcast partner, Renee, just had a baby, you know what I'm saying, who just turned 1. So you know, he had to step back from the podcast. So we haven't been doing the whole once a week thing. We just been kind of recording sporadically and doing it just really for the love, man. Because as somebody pointed out at an event that I went to last night, you know, somebody was telling me, the homie Charles Fast was like, bro, you know, the podcast, it ain't only about y'all. It's like it's a great thing for the scene. And I do feel that sense of like responsibility to the Miami hip hop scene, because we have put a lot of brothers on there and given them, you know, a chance to speak their mind on this platform and shit like that. So it's something that we definitely feel like we got to continue doing. But, you know, back to what I was saying before, like I'm really trying to focus in on what it is that I do best. And that's this rap shit. You know what I
mean? Yeah. As it should be. So we'll get Moskvich 3 in a few weeks. Are you already planning a follow-up to that?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I got a project that I'm working on with the homie Agony from out here. I got another thing that I'm working on with the homie Scam from, like, you know, the dude that fucked with Eminem back in the day. I only, you know, I even got the underground shit that you did with Scam. Yeah, that's the homie. He's from Miami. Yeah. So I got some with him cooking, and me and Tev are always cooking. Like we don't have another project, planned, but we're definitely gonna drop a bunch of singles, you know what I mean? Like just like single tracks after Moskvich and shit. But it's Moskvich season right now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We look forward to that release.
No, that's a dope album, though.
How about videos? The videos done for that project?
That's what we're finalizing right now. You know what I mean? Like we just finished mixing you got to understand, we finished mastering the album literally the night before the listening session. So now now that we're kind of off album recording mode, we're jumping into video mode. So that's what we'll be doing for the next couple of weeks is shooting the visuals for Moskvich 3.
Nice. We look forward to that as well.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Before we leave you, you've also written and directed short films and other content of that. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What you've got that maybe we could go watch and where to find it?
Yeah, I've always had a love for film, bro. Like I'm, low key kind of a film nerd and shit like that. So I went to film school and I've been writing. I started writing stories before I ever started writing raps. So like, I consider myself a writer as well as an MC. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, we did a short film called Botchery in Brooklyn that I directed. I have a documentary out on YouTube called The Last Taino, where I traveled to Cuba with my partner Tony. We went to the mountains. We were in the mountains of Guantanamo, Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Like a heavily restricted area. The Cuban military told us we couldn't be there and shit. It was like some crazy shit. And we were looking for the Taino Indians, because supposedly there's a tribe that lives somewhere deep in the mountains. Because the Taino Indians, which is where I'm Dominican, so like they had the island of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico. They were deep. That was the indigenous people. Yeah. So we had heard that there was a tribe living out there, out there in the mountains and shit. So we set out to go try to find them and shit. So look that up. That's on YouTube. It's called The Last Taino. I directed that as well. I've also written some short films for my man Michael Garcia, who's like a fucking big time video director now and shit. Like homie did the last couple Machine Gun Kelly videos. Like the dude is fucking blowing the fuck up. But we got a short film called Sophism. And we got another short film. I'm blanking on the name right now, but yeah, Michael Garcia. Look up his channel on YouTube and shit. And he's got a couple of the short films that I wrote and shit. So I'm constantly. I got so much content. It's crazy and shit, man. So you can do a deep dive on my shit. Follow me on Instagram, and I usually post up all the stuff that I do, man. But it's so much stuff that I literally forget about stuff,
Constantly.
Awesome.
Ooh, man. Word up. We need that.
Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Now, do you brothers have any final questions for Shotty?
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say how dope the last album was. Moskvich, what was it, 2, right? 2. Like to me, I love the fact that first of all, obviously, you could tell that you're into a certain kind of rap. You're into lyrical music and shit. But I also love the fact that you sometimes finish verses off and it's like in the most nonchalant way. You know what I'm saying? Like one was that you said, we get high as a motherfucker, also say hi to your motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yo, I love that shit. That's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some easy shit, but it's still effective. And it doesn't have to be a super punchline, but it still hits you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like type shit like that. That smart, witty type shit like that.
Appreciate that, man. That comes from like that. I stopped giving a fuck about that type of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, I feel like I wouldn't have said that. But I got to a certain point where it's like, bro, I don't care. If it sounds cool to me, I don't care if it might be stupid to somebody else and shit. So,
that shit sounds, man. That shit sounds cool, and like I said, it hits. You know what I'm saying?
That one stood out as well.
For wordplay, lands. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was gonna go off of that you were talking about, brother VS, with the fact that Shoddy is so witty, and you know what I get besides Eminem is an influence of Eminem, which is Master Ace. So my question is, did you do a lot of Master Ace growing up, or at all? Like,
yo, that's no one's ever brought that up before. That's interesting. Like, I gotta go back and like maybe re-listen to the catalog, because obviously I like sitting on Chrome and like the singles and shit like that, but I don't think I ever did like a deep dive on Master Ace. But that's interesting, man. I'm definitely gonna go back and listen.
He got an album that it reminds me a lot of your style. It's called like BK something, or it's like in the summertime, and he got a few songs that are crazy, but that's what I really like about your style, is the fact that your personality shines through, and it's like you said, it's just not the regular hip hop or boom bap or even trap or whatever. It's more different concepts, and that's what I always appreciated with hip hop. That's why I really like Eminem, again, Master Ace, and artists of the like, is just the fact that they can pull from somewhere else, and it doesn't have to be the normal cookie cutter topics. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, bro.
That, and one line that I really, really fuck with, again, is super simple, but it really landed with me, and I always gotta put the track back, is on Random Acts of Horror.
I bet you I know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say what I was gonna say.
You said the kids
Clueless,
and I call it, it was ghosting. So I was like, oh shit,
okay.
like super easy. I really like that line.
That's what's up. I thought you were gonna say the Clueless bar and shit.
Something about hanging with the homies, right?
Yeah,
I caught that one.
Yeah, that, and then obviously you also gave a nod to one of our favorite groups. You said, "I saw your asshole close and keep feeding you dog chow because you a bitch." Still Wu-Tang forever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that shit. I was like,
yeah, I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan, bro. Huge fan.
Yeah, man, for sure. And it comes through. It actually comes through in the music, man. You could tell that you were actually sitting down here thinking, and even though you said you don't write, and any other man, that shit ain't right. But you know what I'm saying? You put thought into what's coming out your mouth.
Yeah, and we definitely appreciate that up here. So everybody, make sure you go check out those albums: Moskvich 1, Godspeed the soundtrack; Moskvich 2, DeLorean. Make sure you're on the lookout for Moskvich 3. Go look up that documentary too, The Last Taino, where the brother Shoddy went deep into Cuba looking for the last Taino tribe. And we're not going to tell you whether he found them or not.
Yeah.
You got to go watch the documentary and find that out. Mm-hmm. One last question for you, brother Shoddy. If you could do a Miami versus, who would you do?
Ooh, that's a great question, bro. Maybe Luke versus Trick would be
the
one,
Bears,
Fuck, man, like Pitbull versus Rose. Maybe, I don't know. That's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one. I like that though.
There's a lot of good candidates out there.
Yeah, I like that, man.
Absolutely.
But, if you want to see a Miami versus, look up the Kendall Hialeah from 2020. That shit was dope, man. Like there was a lot of artists got shine. Yeah, it was dope, man. There was a big turnout and shit, and it turned out real dope. So shout out to the homie H2O and Orion. They were the ones that put that shit on, man. Orion was representing Hialeah, H2O was representing Kendall.
Yeah, big shout out to the homie H2O. Every artist that he connects us with, they say he's out there doing big things for hip hop, for the area. And he connected us with you, and he's connected us with some others. So definitely big shout out to the brother H.
Word, man. Shout out to H.
What we're gonna do now is get into 10 shots with the brother VSOP. So I'm gonna throw it to this cat right here to my left.
10 shots real quick. I'm gonna ask you 10 rapid fire questions. You answer them with minimal thought. When you were done, we'll go back and circle back and check your answers out. All right?
Let's go.
All right. So number 10, is Jay the top 5 dead or alive?
No.
No. Okay, good. Number 9, if you could work with one of these producers, who would it be, RZA or Dr.
RZA.
No doubt. Number 8, Cole or Kendrick? Who's the better rapper?
Kendrick.
All right. Number 9, better crew, Dipset or G Unit?
Dipset.
Okay. Number 6, what's the better album, Reasonable Doubt or Blueprint?
Reasonable Doubt.
Okay. Number 5, Wu-Tang or Mobb Deep? Better rap group.
Wu-Tang.
I
Shout to
knew you
Mobb
would.
Deep. Love Mobb Deep, but Wu-Tang, bro.
All right. You're big into comics. Number 4. If you could have a choice, who would you roll with? The X-Men or the Avengers?
X-Men.
Me too. No doubt. You talked about the verses with these two cats. Who would you go with? Redman or Busta Rhymes?
Redman's my favorite rapper of all time, bro. So I'm going with Redman.
Okay. All right. No doubt. Number 2, if you could have a choice, would you stick with film or would you still rock with the studio and rapping?
If I had a choice, bro, I love hip hop. So I'm never gonna pick against hip hop.
No doubt. And number 1, better album in your opinion, Purple Tape, Only Built for Cuban Links, or Iron Man?
Yo, I'm gonna say Purple Tape, right? But Iron Man is ridiculously slept on, bro. Ridiculously. I think that's Ghost's best album to me. Yeah.
Agreed.
And there you go, 10 shots.
10 shots.
Under a minute, right?
I didn't time it.
You suck.
But
If it wasn't under a minute, it was my fault.
No,
and it's
it's all good. It's all good.
So no to Jay to be in top 5. I agree with that.
Okay.
RZA, I mean, he's verbalized his admiration for the Wu.
Absolutely.
So I figured that. Kendrick over Cole, that one always surprises me, but it's because I have a deep dislike for Kendrick. Everything after the first album.
Ooh.
Well, everything
What do you consider the first album? Good Kid, Mad City?
Good. No, I know Section 80 is the first album, and that's good. I like that album, but I love Good Kid, Mad City. Like, I think that's a 5 mic perfect album.
Okay.
And then everything after that, I don't like at all.
Really?
Damn.
I think Butterfly is his best album.
Really?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I did like was when he did the Black Panther soundtrack.
Okay.
That I liked.
Okay.
Let's see. Dipset over Locks.
Over G Unit.
Over G Unit. Oh, that's why it surprised me, because I remember you said you liked the Locks.
Chill, I would have gone with the Locks.
Yeah, I thought you said Dipset versus Locks, and he picked
No. I said
okay.
Dipset G Unit. Because I knew he was gonna say the Locks.
Right. Okay. Now that makes sense. Okay. Reasonable Doubt. Yeah. That album, bro. That album's a trick. Like, not a trick, but it's like, if you happen to be somewhere doing something or chilling, whatever, and you hear one song off the album, like
You
me
gotta
personally,
listen to the whole thing.
now I gotta go listen to the whole album.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wu-Tang over Mobb Deep, absolutely. X-Men over Avengers. Aren't X-Men in the Avengers?
Negative.
They're not part of the Avengers?
Negative.
No.
Okay.
2 different crews.
My bad. Redman, your favorite rapper, huh?
Yeah, man. There's a Dark Side. What the album?
Didn't M say that's his favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then rap over movies, I could dig it. And then Purple Tape over Iron Man. That's a debate that we've been having here for probably 20 years.
Probably. Word.
I listen to them both just as much as the other one. Though.
Yeah,
you know what
some
I'm saying?
days it's Purple Rain and some days it's Iron Man. It
Purple
just depends on.
Yeah.
You know,
I lean heavily towards Iron Man. I just have a deep connection to that album.
Yeah.
I think I've always said Iron Man is the more emotional album.
That's probably why.
More personal.
More personal.
There you
absolutely.
go. Exactly.
But I
shout out
consider
to
those two, like, to me, those are like Godfather 1, Godfather 2. Like, depending on what mood I'm in, I fuck with Godfather 2 or I fuck with Godfather 1.
Blood has made that same comparison.
Yeah,
and I think Ghostface laces both of them.
And that's the
Yes.
and I'll tell you why. That's why I hold Iron Man in a higher regard, because I don't believe Purple Tape would have been as great had it not been for Ghostface's cameo throughout the entire album.
Possibly.
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it, but yeah, he laced both of them. They're both as much as albums, I think.
Yeah. It's like 1A, 1B.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Ghostface. I believe he has a sneaker dropping with Ewing Athletics.
Oh shit.
Nice.
It's not pretty, but shout out to him for making it happen.
Shout out to Ewing Athletics, though. I like the fact that they do their own thing, though.
I like that they're still out here. Yeah,
I don't
like
rock it, you know what I'm saying?
pushing.
But yeah, they're doing their own thing, bro. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
big
did a
for New
big
York,
pun
man.
collab.
Word up.
They did a big pun collab. They did a War Report collab.
Onyx.
Faith collab. They did a Cormega?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Look
They
at
did
that.
a Cormega collab.
They did Onyx. They did Onyx too.
Look at that. See?
Mhm.
Shout out to Cormega. He's got the Realness 2 dropping. He said it's about 90% done.
And Nas is on it.
And Nas is on it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nas is on it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he confirmed that. He confirmed that Nas is on it.
Oh,
Yo,
that's
and
big.
brother Shoddy, shout out to Redman, yo. That's one of the only artists that I've been starstruck when I seen him, and I had to go get his autograph and shit.
Yeah, man. Like,
Do you still have it?
That's
No, I do not. No, I do not. But you know, it's the experience. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
his live show is crazy, bro.
It is.
Redman's crazy with it.
I saw him live.
Have you ever got to meet him?
Briefly in Miami, thanks to the homies at Crazy Hood, Garcia, EFN. You know, briefly backstage in Miami.
Hey, that's dope, though.
That's what's up.
Got to get you on the track together, man. I think it was dope.
Tell me about it, bro. That's bucket list.
Yeah, no doubt.
I believe we have Redman's manager coming up soon.
Yeah, DJ June.
DJ June, shout out to him. Let's see what we
if
can
y'all
plug up.
if y'all happen to play 2020 Vision that day, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad at y'all.
Exactly.
Why not?
That's good theme music, good setting music.
That's right.
Right.
Brother Shottie, man, thank you for being on the show today. Don't hang up. I want to talk to you after we go off air, but thank you for being on the show. Everybody, make sure you're following at Shottie D84. Follow his partner at 95 Lens. That's Tev95. Follow at 95 Labs. That's different. That's on YouTube. Follow them on YouTube. Go check out the documentary, The Last Taino. Go check out all the albums. Go order the graphic novel. Check out the Human Sushi podcast. And if you're ever in Kendall or Hialeah and you want to battle, holla. We'll set that up.
Yo, man, hey, I appreciate y'all. This is a dope ass platform, you know what I mean? And I appreciate y'all giving me some of your time, yo. This is fun as fuck.
Thank you, brother. Much appreciated to you as well.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
It's always good to talk to, like we said, you make the type of music that I look for. You know what I'm saying? So it's always dope to talk to somebody like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see just from the vibes that y'all are like-minded, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, appreciate that, man.
Blood?
Talk to me.
I thought you were trying to say something and got cut off. I'm sorry.
Nah, just the pleasure was ours, as a matter of fact, because without you, without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do, which is dissect raw hip hop. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Peace, man.
While I got you, Blood, you got any sign-offs, any shout-outs?
Yo, shout out to y'all, man. Let's keep doing what we do. Another dope show, and shout out to Shottie for putting on for Miami and the South, because there's other types of hip hop to listen to out here, and that's good to know. And everybody, go listen to that track "Charged Up" by the brother. That shit is bananas, man. That's a dope ass track to get into that mode. You know what I mean? So go listen to that, and you already know, my brothers. You know how we do, man. Holla at your boy.
Absolutely. Shottie, you got any shout outs before we wrap it up?
Yo, well, first and foremost, shout out to y'all. Shout out to Miami hip hop in general, bro. Like I said, the Kendall Hialeah shit is what pulled me back in. So it's like, honestly, bro, I feel like I'm speaking for all of us when anytime I do some shit like this, you know what I mean? So shout out to just everybody involved in Miami hip hop. Shout out to my man Tev, just for, you know what I'm saying, like cooking up that raw shit. And shout out to Crime Apple and Sky Zoo, both features on Moskvich 3. You know what I'm saying? They both came through and killed it and shit, man. So it's a blessing.
You got Sky Zoo on there, huh? Damn, that's big time.
Oh yeah, man, yeah.
That's
bro.
awesome.
So,
Congrats.
I feel nothing but pure gratitude. You know what I'm saying? And 2022 is going to be another great year. So shout out to everybody, man.
Absolutely.
So,
brother VS.
Again, man, shouts to you, man. Like I said, you make the type of music I look for. Continued success to you. And like you said on Charged Up, man, you got that weak reception. Get your bars up, people. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the brother Shottie. Shout out to the brother Tev95. Shout out to my co-host. Shout out to brother F and Straight Fuego Studios. Make sure you're following everybody on the socials. Make sure you're following the YouTubes. Like, comment, and subscribe. And also make sure you share that. This has been episode 95 of the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. I am the brother Burnz. As always, chin up, chest out, carry yourself with honor, carry yourself with pride. And we're going to fade out with the love song of the week. We got a new Alicia Keys album a few weeks ago. It's called Keys, and this is featuring Pusha T. And Pusha T got a new album coming out. He just dropped the artwork for it. It's going to be super fire, so make sure you look out for that. The name of this song is Plentiful. It's the M. Burnz love song of the week, and we're going to fade out to it. See y'all next episode.
Ow.
While them keys get tuned up, we're going to shout out to all the ladies, all the wifeys, all the moms, all the sisters, the aunts, the grandmas, the babies, the daughters, the side pieces, the thotties, the sneaky links.
Hey.
And also the teachers and the strippers. And who we shouting out this week?
And the strippers that dress like teachers.
And vice versa.
Word.
Shout out to the girls who come over and know they're not sleeping over, so they know when to leave and you don't got to kick them out.
Word. MVPs right there.
Absolutely. I know y'all know this sample.
Always praying on the weaker souls, all that we can know. It was all good just a week ago. Product carry-ons off the Mykonos, celebrating life on white sands, but only weekend so still got it cheaper though. Scales like a Libra, yo. Playing on these keys like Alicia, that's a secret though. Only on the need to know. Nah, you don't need to know. Had to tell the truth on this beat like being a sequel though.
My God is plentiful.
Shout out to Pusha T. Shout out Alicia Keys. Episode 95, the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast.